found a safety net. Geek Force!
Hello and welcome to our Movie of the Year review.
Yeah.
With me is Adam Nightingale, amateur film buff.
Yeah, in the Victorian sense of the word amateur.
And which means?
Which means better than professional because it's vulgar to be paid for your services. Because amateurs are independently wealthy and just do it for the sheer sport of it, and they don't have to vulgarise their talent by payment. So that's me, but without the independently wealthy. But,
you'd seen a lot of films this year.
Fair amount of films.
58.
Yeah. 58 films, which it doesn't seem that much. But it doesn't seem that much really when...
If you were doing it
professionally,
you'd see a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, this is out of your own money. Nobody's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, but it's more than one a week.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So it's like a movie in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So there's going to be inevitably films I missed or just didn't bother seeing, or so there are films that have kind of cropped up on top 10 lists and that I haven't seen. Just to rattle through, I haven't seen like Hunt for the World People, Daniel Blake, which a lot of people and Arrival I haven't seen to my shame, things like that. So they're not going to be on my list, not because I didn't like them, but because I haven't seen them yet. And it's a chronological list.
Yeah, there's no sort of there's no
order of
one.
merit. It's it's just the order of when they appeared during the year.
Next film, Bloodfather.
So this is the return of Mel Gibson. He's been he's had a few.
Return of the Mel. Return of the Mel.
He's had a few. He's not stopped making movies since his disgrace.
I think he's had a few in between, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Low key.
Yeah, I mean he's had a few. He had.
Did he have one with Jodie Foster directed?
Yeah, The Beaver.
That's right.
Which I didn't see, but he had a few kind of more obviously Mel Gibson movies like Edge of Darkness and what I did during my vacation, which was also known as Kill the Green Goat. But they haven't seemed to sort of had the and then also he's been forced to take cameos, hasn't he, in things like The Expendables 3 and Machete Kills but this seems to be like the movie that has been embraced. There seems to be this sort of kind of consensus, this grudging consensus that come back out of the cold a little bit, and it's it's essentially a B movie that is kind of like a lot of the thrillers, the kind of mid-level thrillers you get in the 70s that were really, really good. Things like I don't know, like Charlie Varick, or the Outfit, or like White Lightning with Burt Reynolds or something like that. And it's kind of quite a modest, low-key thriller about. And the interesting thing about it, is there's this sort of art imitating life sort of element to Mel Gibson's character, who plays an ex-con with neo-Nazi sensibilities.
We shouldn't say that he's a neo-Nazi.
He is in the film.
We shouldn't say that.
He's not. He wasn't a neo-Nazi, but he's kind of affiliated with the Aryan Brotherhood in prison, and he kind of ran with kind of pretty much a kind of neo-Nazi biker gang. But when the movie opens, he's a recovering alcoholic in rehab, living in a trailer, eking out a living as a sort of tattoo artist. When his daughter that he hasn't seen for sort of yonks turns up,
which could be Mel Gibson's story.
Yeah, and critics have sort of seized on that, and that's provided it probably with a little bit more publicity than his other attempts, to kind of just get back in the game, and he's his daughter turns up and she's got in trouble with sort of Mexican mafia, and he protects her, and obviously his past comes to bear, and so it's pretty much on paper it's pretty much by the numbers sort of B movie. It could just as easily start Dolph Lundgren and you get in, but what distinguishes it is it's very well written, and him, and he looks awful and brilliant at the same
Yeah.
time. He just has this kind of leathery, kind of hacked
he
face,
looks
this
like his...
this amazing sort of black grey beard, and his performance is just it's just this kind of savage performance, and this but also sort of very tender performance, and but as a thriller it works as well, because as a thriller it's a very modest thriller, and I get very bored with very sort of big, long, boring action sequences, and the action in this, essentially it's a chase movie that's sort of played out in motels and trailers, and it's kind of there's a real economy in the action sequences.
Yeah.
They don't last too long, they're quick, they're punchy, they obey the laws of actual body damage. So someone gets hit, they don't recover. Someone gets shot, they stay shot, and and the climax of the movie literally takes place in and around a parked car.
Yeah, you said
and it's great, and so I think there were there were more ambitious action movies and good action movies, like movies that like Captain America: Civil War, and The Magnificent Seven, which was a surprisingly good remake, and probably has the best action sequences in any film I've seen this year. But there was just something about the kind of economy of scale of Bloodfather, and at the centre of it, this kind of howling performance from Mel Gibson, and the cherry on the cake is like sort of character actor par excellence, Michael Parks. He's just such a good character actor, and he has this terrific cameo as a kind of old neo-Nazi kind of arms dealer. Come like sort of biker patriarch in it, and I thought it was all those elements. It was just a film that stuck in my mind more than a lot of the more kind of invested in and even ambitious action movies. So that's why it's in my top 10, and it's a subjective choice.
No, it's a good one. And just going off subject, really.
Yeah.
If Mel Gibson on his resurrection of his career, would you like to see him in a Mad Max movie?
I'm not sure now. I think I would have said yes had Fury Road not been so good, and Tom Hardy. I think his Mad Max days are over. I'd like to have seen my sort of fantasy Mad Max movie was as a sort of broken down Max. Almost akin to what Clint Eastwood did in Unforgiven, but for a science fiction movie. And I was kind of imagined him almost like so calipered up, and with sort of metal braces that he's almost a part of his truck. And I like the idea of like one last sort of trip across the wasteland.
Because obviously Tom Hardy's playing sort of a young Mad Max again, but I suppose he could always do it that he plays
an old Max. I don't know. I think it'd be nice maybe to see him in a Mad Max movie as someone else, or as like a weird sort of desert prophet or something, and just sort of bring in something of the kind of the biblical world. He kind of draws on in a lot of his movies. Nocturnal Animals. Now, Nocturnal Animals is the second film from Tom Hooper, who made a few years ago A Single Man, which was the film that kind of gave Colin Firth his first Oscar nomination, and this is it's a sort of fascinatingly constructed movie, because it's
three movies for the price of
one. And essentially it's the story of a woman who is quite prominent, powerful and wealthy in the fashion industry, but is an utter prisoner of her success. She's in a very unhappy marriage, she hates what she does, and she sort of pines for her first love, her first husband, who she kind of horribly screwed over 20 years ago, and then she receives, and so what you have is the story being told in the present of her unhappiness and imprisonment in this kind of affluent world, and then you see her marriage kind of told in flashback, but then the central spine of the story is she's sent in the post a novel by her former husband, whose life she destroyed, when he was an aspiring writer, called Nocturnal Animals, and then that forms a movie within the movie as she reads the book. It's this kind of horrible, feral crime story about a family that's waylaid by by a gang of extremely nasty youths, and the sequence of events that follows, and the investigation that follows a sequence of events, and it becomes obvious that this is a thinly disguised metaphor for what her ex-husband has had done to him by her. And just to underscore the point, the ex-husband's played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and he also plays the husband in the movie, or in the book, the movie within a movie. And so it's sort of pristinely put together, it's beautifully constructed, and the movie within the movie contains like the supporting turn of the year by Michael Shannon, Michael Zod, all you geek forces out there, so Michael Shannon, and who is one of the most unusual kind of character actors around, and he plays this again, I'm assuming it's in Texas, this southern lawman who's investigating the crime, and it's interesting. One of the things I loved was contrasting, and they never meet in the film because obviously sort of he doesn't really exist. He's in a book, and Amy Adams is reading the book, and Amy Adams is her performance is beautiful. I think she's getting all her nominations for Arrival, which I haven't seen, but had Arrival not existed, she probably would have got them for this, because and she's a great actor. She's wonderful at kind of doing nothing and just very subtly reacting to things. And Michael Shannon's exactly the opposite. He's the thing you react to in a movie, and he's this like force, in the middle of a movie that you can't but react to, and you've got no choice to. You just get out of his way and let it. And they're both brilliant in this film, and I just thought it was an incredibly intelligently constructed movie, and again, like all of these movies, there's an array of fantastic performances. Isla Fisher's in it, Aaron Taylor-Johnson's in it, and you have these cameos from Jenna Malone, who's also in Neil Demon. She's kind of almost like kind of interesting kind of equivalent turns in these two movies as very kind of creepy women in the fashion industry and in the art industry respectively, and then this quite arch cameo by Laura Linney as Amy Adams' mother. And it's one of these movies that is actually quite a bleak movie. I'll put this note when you're watching it, and then even more bleak when you think about it. So these things when you think about it, and you kind of think, well, what did I just meet? Especially the kind of the last scene in the film, and and you start thinking about merit, like in terms of where your sympathies ultimately are supposed to lie, within, because in a weird sort of way it's kind of, well, I won't even say what I thought the film was, because that kind of tips my hat to giving stuff away, but it's one of these movies that makes you kind of think, well, where do my sympathies lie? Who do I feel sorry for at the end of this film? Who do I feel more sorry for? And you don't, and it becomes well, it shifts, and you become. And the film becomes bleaker the more you think about it, and it does linger in your mind for a couple of days afterwards. And so, that was like the last best film I saw this year.
Keep traveling to the past without a safety net. Keep traveling to the past without a safety net.